I am Chester Dunham, and this is the Dunham Report, a marketplace of ideas, of information for labor, civil rights, and other issues of social justice. I am Dunham, and I'm the host of the show, and my co-host is Mr. Wesley Crenshaw. And tonight we have another good show for you, the viewing audience. And our guest on the show tonight is none other than, well, I'm going to just say the buts, and then we'll get into the names later when we started going around. But it's a lot of information that we want to share with you all. Wes, you want to, in starting out, before we do this, we'll come back to that, but I already, and again, this is for the viewing audience, made a few calls today, and I checked the newspaper today, you know, as we always check all the information and reading, and our Georgia legislation is really busy. To what extent, I don't know. It's some crucial things like fixing to take place, and especially in education. That's why I put a call into, and he'll be calling me back, I know, to Dr. Lockerbie this afternoon, and probably bring him on next week and one other board member at first, and start discussing the information and what the Georgia legislature voted on, I think, on yesterday. And it's a crucial situation, and what we will do is to get the overall bill itself and look at it, and by the time we get them there, we will understand and see exactly what went on. And that is temporary, but we're going to have to work on this thing a great deal. And the listening audience is going to have to, viewing audience, that's people who live in Georgia. And it's because it's going to affect them. And one crucial thing that I look at today, and I read about 5 schools, and if this bill go into effect, it will affect 5 schools already. And if this happens, it's a crucial situation. And I look at the situation, I don't want to say too much until we get into it, because if we as a whole, if the founding fathers who set this government up, the Constitution put all this stuff in place because they was trying to get away from dictatorship, which was in England, and the royal family and this sort of thing, to have their own independent laws and rules. So it looks like now this particular bill is going to be in the hand of one person, which will be the head, and that will be the governor, no matter who he is or she is. And this is crucial, so I just want to mention that, but we will be talking about that. Now, again, back to our show for the night, and Mr. Crenshaw.
Good evening, everyone. This is Wes Crenshaw, co-host of the Dunham Report. We have a special guest with us tonight, call themselves social entrepreneurs, and they are Craig and Sharon Butts, and they have been in the business for a while, and they are putting on a show on River Street. I'm not going to say too much. As social entrepreneurs, I'd like for them to explain to us exactly what that is, and then tell us about what you're all about.
Well, first of all, I want to say we really appreciate the opportunity to be able to be here on the show. And last minute, as we got a call, we went through the process of trying to scramble and get here in time, but we're glad that we're here. And at the same time, hopefully that we'll be able to get through this particular period. Social entrepreneur. What is a social entrepreneur? A lot of people ask me that all the time. Social entrepreneur is really likened to this. You hear the old saying that if you teach someone to be able to fish, and if you teach them correctly, they can fish for a lifetime. Well, a social entrepreneur is really you teach someone to fish, but then you in turn give them manufacturing, and you give them urban planning skills, so that they end up building a fish factory, and then it's able to actually provide jobs for that community and build that community. And so social entrepreneur is a little bit more about a community activist that uses entrepreneurship skills to be able to build community, and in turn hopefully help that whole community out. And basically that's what River Street opportunity that we've been given, I should say, with Unity Community is to give that kind of opportunity to hopefully get back to the community of here at Savannah.
Well, what road have you traveled to get to where you are? Give us a little bit about your background here.
Well, my wife and I live right now in Richmond Hill, Georgia. I'm from the Kansas City area. My wife is from the Denver area. And we pretty much met each other in Denver. I was doing some work for the 2000 census, and I saw this pretty lady at a, what was that at?
Black Arts Festival, the Denver Black Arts Festival that's been going on for years. I had a booth with my daughter there. She's an artist, and I had a publishing company, and so we were sharing this booth where she had all of these, her paintings and everything, and I had the books from our publishing company, and I was just holding down the booth, and he came by, and we talked for about an hour without anybody paying attention to the fact that there were other people still around. So.
Now you mentioned Denver and arts. We just recently had here a lady who owns a dance company from Denver. Are you familiar with this person?
Yes, Cleo Parker Robinson.
Yes, she
Yes.
was with, so that Small World connection
Yes.
here.
Yeah, I think we saw them once at the Black, what is that festival?
The Black Heritage
Yes,
Festival.
we were surprised when we saw them that they were here doing dance troupes. I don't remember from Denver. Yeah.
Yeah, that was their second year. So what is it that you guys are planning on River Street for us?
Well, River Street is a, I'd say, amplified show that we usually do in parks and we do in the mall. In fact, the last 2 years in Savannah Mall, we've been doing a similar show to this at the end of the Black History Month. Basically, our shows consist of this. Our shows consist of having vendors that show up on the venue, and then we also have nonprofit organizations, and then we also use local entertainment to kind of draw on the crowd. So basically, with the nonprofit organizations and connected to our vendors and the local entertainment that we use, it's more like a holistic approach. So it's not just you coming out to in turn enjoy yourself with the music and buying vendors, and then going home and like, well, where can I get some food? Or going home and say, you know, I need some housing information, or I need some education information. Or medical, exactly. So the nonprofit organizations are there to in turn help to service you besides that entertainment. Plus at the same time, we add a kind of extra feature. In fact, we did that at the, I think it was, where was that, Richmond Hill?
Gregory Park.
Oh, Gregory Park in
Yeah,
Richmond
Gregory
Hill.
Park.
We added another piece where we brought some colleges in, and I think we brought in the career job in at the
employment agencies and
Exactly.
human resources, and we focused on, the last time it was a focus on a specific area, which happened to be looking for things and ways to help the military who were coming back into the area.
Exactly. What do we call that? Was our theme?
I can't remember what our theme was. I think it had something to do with the veterans, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Exactly. It had to do with veterans. We had a lot of veteran organizations that came out at that particular time. We have several different themes for River Street. Again, it's going to be starting April 18th, and it's going every third Saturday all the way to December. And we have different themes that are going to be part of each one of those.
So we got something going from 6 to 7 months?
Yeah, oh, actually 9 months.
9 months.
Nine months.
Every third week of the month.
Every
Exactly.
Saturday.
Except for in July, we're actually working with the Gullah Geechee Association, where they want to do authentic Gullah Geechee festival in July, but they want that for 3 days. So we're going to work it for them to be 3 days. So I think it's the 16th, 17th, and the 18th, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Let's go back to, you spoke a few minutes ago about nonprofit and a lot of vendors which will occupy River Street during this period of time will be doing that type, some of them will be doing that type of service, which means a lot of education. So you all will be involved in whatever you're doing in like some training, education stuff too, especially for school kids and other young folks when you mentioned about jobs and stuff like that. Can you go into a little bit of if you all have anything in what you're going to be doing to train, and you mentioned about jobs and other kind of things. So let's kind of get into that.
Well, that's interesting that you said that, because
Okay.
that was a component that we're actually going to start trying to build some programs around. And that's only because of the fact that the younger people that come out to our programs are always interested in what's going on behind the scene. I have my own entertainment company, so I run the audio equipment, the audio system. I actually provide it as part of this whole organization. And so we see a lot of younger guys, especially young Afro-American guys, who are real interested in what I'm doing with the buzzers and knobs and all that good stuff. And what usually happens is I will actually informally have them come and train with me. Either they become the rowdy that picks up, the sound equipment, the wires together, or sometimes I actually let them run the board. And what's exciting about this is that we just got to get in a success story for one of the young guys that was at our second annual, that was Savannah Mall, and got him interested in doing this. And we found out at another show a couple of days ago, he's now at the church running the audio board, and he's thinking about actually going to school and continue in that particular craft. So we're very excited about it. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to be working with another organization. Actually, it's a production company here. I just was talking to him yesterday, and we're going to work on a program where we're actually going to strategically set up a program where we're going to allow these young guys to actually come in, get some training on how to actually, with your hands, what they say, the rubber meets the road, how to set the equipment up, how to run the board, how to do all that kind of stuff, and plus the educational, the business side, which is important. And they have two routes that they can go to actually, in turn, let's say, take that apprenticeship program if they want. Number one, they can start working, continue working with us, because we're definitely going to need that help when it comes to later on in the future. Or they can also take the route and go into the production studio and work with this production studio that's actually partnered with us and learn how to go in the production studio and run the board and all that good stuff. So we're very excited about wanting to take that program and move that forward and actually make that something as part of what we're doing. That's just one.
That's I sort of like that. That's a start, because River Street, especially during the period of time you're talking about, especially during the summer too and stuff, that it's a busy place, especially with tourists and people coming in, and a lack of, in the past, was a lack of African American vendors and other activities. And so this is what you all doing, and then we can probably make it other people interested in coming down with vendors and other type of thing to deal, and that's a job creating thing too. It's going to be a combination of things. So you said the city itself, when y'all went to them, they sort of back y'all in this kind of things, or give y'all all the support.
Yes, the leisure department is who we're working with. We also, in turn, coordinated some hiccups, if you may want to say, with Dr. Alderman
Shabazz.
Dr. Shabazz, yes. So she worked with us on one particular hiccup, which was very, very instrumental to us. But working with and being very glad how the leisure department is really in turn excited about wanting to see this be successful and a win-win situation. I'm going to add something in that's just part of the educational component, the job component that you just talked about. I forgot about that. We're doing a program called, you want to tell them about that?
Yes, and this goes back to the entrepreneurial part of what we're doing also, and it's a program that we're establishing called Step Up Program, which will give young people, and we're going to have them in different age groups, and they're going to be able to speak to everyone or pitch a business idea that they have.
It's similar to Shark Tank, if you ever seen it on TV.
And the idea is that they will be able to work with vendors or work with people in the business community in order to get an idea or an understanding as to how to build a business, what things are necessary to promote your business. Somebody is going to win at these different levels and be able to sell their business product, whatever it is, on River Street
Right on
at
River
one
Street.
of our.
Exactly. We're going to actually pair them with one of our vendors, so that not only will they be able to go from pitching an idea, but then some training, but they'll actually be able to take that idea, that product service, and then have it right in the marketplace and see if that idea actually works. By the way, we are looking for anyone who'd like to sponsor that, because one of the things that we're doing, like Shark Tank, is if they win that pitch, we want to at least get them about $500. That is good seed capital money to start their business. So we're looking for sponsors who would like to help us with that one. Yeah.
So what have been some of the hiccups? You mentioned hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
What have been some of the hiccups you guys run into?
Some of the hiccups is we're new kids in town. So being the new kids in town, vendors are very, very concerned and touchy about how they do their business and who they do their business with. So that hiccup that has to do with being new in town, actually new in Savannah, if you may want to say, has in terms of some people waiting out on the pole, if you may want to say, the gate, whatever you may, the fence is probably the better word they say. And so we understand that, and we're not here for a short period of time. We're here for a long time in this particular case. We've already been doing this kind of event for the last 3 years. And so we're taking our experience that we have for the last 3 years, and we're going to move and do this. And we know that we're going to do it at least this whole year. We're hoping to be able to move it and do it next year. In fact, if in turn it works out well, we do know that some of the vendors who are coming from out of town, that want to come from out of town, they don't really want this to do this one day. They really want us to do this more than 2 days, meaning they don't want to come out of town and just come here and sell one day. They want to be able to sell.
They want the weekend.
Exactly. Right now, we only can start, which is understandable, with 1 day. If things get well, we're definitely going to move on for more than 1 day.
What day are you guys starting on? Is it a Friday, Saturday? Or?
Saturday.
Every third Saturday.
And our first one is April 18th.
Yes.
Which is just a few weeks down the road, and we're really excited about it also.
Exactly. 11 o'clock, 11 to 7 o'clock.
What made you guys choose River Street when there's MLK, there's Forsyth Park, maybe? But is River Street the place?
River Street is the place in this particular town when it comes to the marketplace of tourism. We do a lot of vending, and when it comes to visiting different spots that do vending, and then we have some people that we know of who are part of our vending team, our vending management team, which are African Americans who've been doing vending for years. And so with their experience of helping out and our experience of being around different parts of the country looking at vending, there are certain spots in the country that all vendors, whether you're black, white, or any particular color, they go to, because the marketplace has been set up by the city for vendors to be able to do business. That is the place. River Street is the place, and that's why.
You mentioned about Gullah Geechee.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Gullah Geechee a little bit.
Okay.
Are you familiar with really Gullah Geechee?
The Gullah Geechee community? Not as well as we would like to. That's one thing for sure. I know that our connections that we have is we've been more than once to the, was it Penn Center?
Yes.
The Penn Center, and we went to the last festival they just had. When was it?
It was in October, I think it was.
Yes. We went up there and enjoyed, not only did we enjoy ourselves, as for the vendors who were up there, and we told them what we were doing. Hopefully those vendors are going to follow through and come to River Street. But at the same time, I personally have had a chance, because I have my own IT company and I'm a supervisor on one particular job. And one of the guys I work with, his name is Leroy. He was a Gullah Geechee person. And man, me and him used to always go back and forth all the time. And we are real close partners right now. And he began to kind of educate me a lot about the Gullah Geechee community, how it's like our bridge as African Americans between Africa and here. And I'll be honest with you, coming from, they call me a northerner from Kansas City, Missouri, I knew nothing about that.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about it. Let's say, for instance, although you could be from, you said Kansas,
Kansas, Missouri, the Missouri side.
Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
but it all comes back to being a part of, connected with Gullah Geechee.
Mm-hmm.
The First Lady of the United States, her roots are Gullah Geechee.
Wow.
The situation here with Gullah Geechee is during the the time dealing with slavery and all of this sort of stuff, is when they migrated and brought slaves, either black to America. Some of the key places that they brought them was South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, other places, but Savannah and South Carolina, or South Carolina and Georgia and other places were key places in transferring and bringing slaves to America. One of the key things was for the demand was dealing with cotton and all this other kind of stuff. So that's one of the main reason. The other thing is that once they got here in this location, this area, the bill itself that Abraham Lincoln processed and signed, which is the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the blacks in the rebel state, when they're talking about it, we go a little further with the Union and all this sort of thing, but that's one of the key reasons. Well, Field Order 15, which was land, when slaves themselves was telling when they were talking in a conversation with Sherman and Secretary of War William Stanton, and which would be, that information would go back to Abraham Lincoln, the president, about what the response coming from slave and how they would be able to survive and make it. And they said it was simple. All they needed was land, seed and mule, and they called it a military mule, but to plant. And because they knew how to do these things, and they knew that's what they did all the time in order to survive. Those were the key things. And they offered their service. The young men would go into the war and the sort of thing, but it started from that. So Field Order 15 was land that was given to blacks from way up in Carolina all the way to St. John River leading into Jacksonville. All of the islands, that's why that Tongichi, the islands, all of the island and the beaches, and because that land was given to them, the island, the beaches, and 30 miles inland. So that language type of thing that they pick up, and they call it Gullah or whatever, that Gullah brogue, and so meaning that around the island, a lot of those places, some places are even more Gullah than other places, but the brogue and the language and everything is there. So what happened is that most of the blacks, unless they was indented in service in upstate, but I'm talking about all slaves and things, it migrated from the south. That's where they were at. And eventually later on, they went into all parts of the United States. But their roots, basically, if you check it out, most of it comes right back to here, these points, and which can make you part of Gullah Geechee.
Well, we're really actually excited about that. In fact, one of the committee that we have, which is about 5 people who are directly connected to Gullah Geechee, told us that this was a historical opportunity that they feel that we have, because they feel that this is like a coming back home for them. They say that area is an area that for a long time they've been trying to get into, to actually do a festival, because it's the area that they've been in. And so we're very happy and honored, not only that they're partnering with us, but they're actually comfortable in working with us. But just as you said, and I always bring it up, sister, oh man, I forgot. He always tells, man, you're a brother anyway, so don't even worry about it.
Well, the Gullah Geechee community, that organization, and Crenshaw, we've been working with them a good bit now, but they're doing a tremendous job, and still is the future, because that's one of the things that they pushed for, and it was Clyburn who pushed real hard, because he was right in the neck of the Gullah Geechee. That's his, on the water right there, and he's strictly a Gullah Geechee, and so he pushed for that and finally got that bill passed, and then got it funded by the government to do certain things. And at first the money wasn't there, but he pushed hard for money to come, and they're still doing that. So that's the good part about the situation with the Gullah Geechee. Unless you want to say anything on
I
that
want to
one.
ask about your events. How do vendors go about participating in your events?
You want to go and do that?
Well, we have, all they have to do is go to our website, which is unity, the letter N, the community.org. Right? .org.
Yes.
Okay, for whatever reason, I get hung up on that, but it's unity, the letter N, the community.org. On the website,
www.
www, computer person. On the website, we have the applications, everything you need. You can make payments there. You can decide whether you are going to be a food vendor or nonprofit or arts and crafts vendor. You choose whichever application you want. You fill it out, pay. Everything is done right there on the website.
And the next launch next week is you'll be able to fill it out online. You don't have to worry about downloading. If you don't want to download the application, you can actually fill that application out online.
Are there things that they should know about the city, or is the application all inclusive of everything that they have?
No, there are some responsibilities that the vendors will have to take. For those who are seasoned, they know what these responsibilities are. For those who are not seasoned, then you're probably listening to this. If you're doing food, you'll have to deal with the health department here, Chatham County Health Department. They require a application that you'll need to fill out. We do give you the telephone number and the address. In fact, I was on the phone with them today about this. And it costs you at least $60 per event. Yes, I'm sorry, but $60 per event for that particular certification that you need.